Yo, man, it's been a rough couple of weeks, man. But it's all good. It's trucking. But what's going on, man? I'm here in Leventon, PA, at delivering to Home Depot here. I wanted to talk about parking, man. Um, a lot of new guys and experienced guys know, like, depending on the time of day, parking can get a little weird and it's rough, and you got to make sure you time it correctly because if you miss time it just by a little, you can be out of parking. Um, I know when I first jumped out, it was a situation where I felt like I wanted to run the whole clock out. I wanted to drive 10 hours a day. And it's cool depending on where you at in your appointment time. Um, I very rarely spend time at a truck stop because that's where everybody want to go. And rightfully so, you got the showers and everything. Um, but it's a couple of ways I play it. If I go to a truck stop, either one or two things or is happen at the truck stop. Either truck stop parking lot is wide open and I'm just basically going to find a spot, easy to get in, easy to get out. That's my preference. Or I just go pay for reserved parking. I think it's like $20. I mean, spend that on food. But what usually happens with me, I know before I find a truck stop, I used to do difficult back end, 5-minute spot, rest up for the night. I don't do all that no more because it's not worth the headache, especially times that by the 8 to 10 hours you drove that day. It's just not worth it to me. Um, I'm a great backer, but I backed in a place before, and you got those guys that's super paranoid. They be out in the driver's seat, just looking, flashing lights. It's like, I got it, bro. Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna hit your truck. But that's the reason why I don't park at a lot of truck stops because um, last thing I want to do is, have my fellow truck beat all up this morning because I made just one little mistake that was very costly. So that leaves the not popular, the non-popular truck stops or rest areas. Um, I would rather go to a rest area versus a truck stop. Now I go to my truck stop. I'll, probably give me a little reserved parking real quick. Probably not pay for it depending on the type of day. Go shower real quick. Keep it pushing. And some I'll just go. It's a lot of truck stops that I'll go. I prefer Love's truck stops over the Pilots, TA for parking because every TA I've been to, it was like a football stadium parking lot. Your Pilot and your Loves, petrol is usually by TAs. Um, the Pilot and Loves, it depends where you at. It's a Pilot, no, it's a Loves in West Virginia where you just drive in. You have to go through a pump to drive in, go around, find you a spot, and that's the end of the parking lot. And I slept there one night, and it was hell getting out of there. Um, Now, what I've learned, and I'm sorry I'm breaking it down like a science, but what I've learned is depending on how congested the truck stop is at night, um, in the morning it's going to be even more congested because people trying to get fuel to start off the day. Their coffee, showers. It's really hectic in the morning. So you want to make sure you got a easy way in and easy way out. Straight shot in, straight shot out. I used to be on the Wyoming, Tennessee to Salt Lake City route, and it for the most part was pretty good parking. Every rest area you went to was big, wide open for trucks, and that side of the country is real truck friendly. A lot of the country isn't. And you'll figure that out. It's kind of like where you at. You kind of got like remember. I don't been through places. I done been driving trucks for a minute, and I done been to a couple of places 3 times on accident. But it's very important for you to time your sleeping situation perfectly. Believe it or not, around 4 o'clock, um, truck stops start to fill up, and you get around 6 to 8, you out of luck because those experienced drivers got a schedule. Whatever it is in the morning, whatever it is at night. Now I tested. I used to be a night driver. Well, I preferred to drive at night, which is cool. I ain't got no problem with that. You'll probably deal with your deers. Um, you'll probably deal with if you can't sleep when the sunlight. Luckily, my shades come all the way around to the front, and I can black out my truck pretty good. But it was a struggle because I was just literally sleeping through the day. But the positive is, if you're a night driver, you're gonna find great parking because you're probably gonna start around 8 o'clock in the morning, you know, and you'll be good. 9, 10 o'clock, you'll be good. So it's very important for you to figure out your sleep schedule and when in terms of parking because it's not easy finding a spot. West Virginia is very bad. I think it's a welcome center. I don't know what that is. It's off the turnpike in West Virginia, and it has over 130 parking spots, and that's nothing because it's guys parked at the pumps, it's guys parked on the street, it's guys parking in front of guys, it's guys parking behind guys, and I did last week. I parked there. Last week was tough, cause I'm a driver, man. I go, but I waited too late, and the first night I parked on the emergency cutoff, which is fine. I mean, that's not illegal to park there. They prefer that instead of parking just, like a dead duck on the side of the road. But the second night, I had to go to that rest area, and I had to park in front of a guy. A couple of guys was getting out, but a lot of guys don't want to chance it. So I kind of was in and out of my sleep a little bit because I knew somebody was going to wake me up. And just to show, somebody woke me up. But he was cool. He wasn't an asshole about it or nothing. But I got up, moved my truck, and I stayed up. And I said, you know what? People leaving. So I just started looking around, drove around a little bit, and I found the spot where 2 guys was leaving. So I just, parked there for a couple hours to get more rest. Because I just knew if he had a problem getting out, somebody else was going to try to wake me up. So I was courteous to the other drivers because they're trying to get their day started. I don't know if they're on a deadline or none of that stuff. I'm not one of those guys that's like, fuck it, you're a trucker, figure it out. I ain't one of those guys. But playing your day out, you know, depending on your schedule, whatever time the load is going to be delivered, you know, figure that out. Make sure it's in a situation where you can peacefully park somewhere comfortably and not have to worry about you hitting somebody hitting you. I mean, you can't predict the future, but take care of yourself, you know, because, you know, it's important for you to get those hours of sleep that you are. But I'm gonna do a truck review. I'm gonna kind of show y'all my little setup a little bit. I think I'm pretty much set up right now. I'm gonna do a truck review, show y'all how my truck's set up, how comfortable I try to be on the road, because that's important. Comfortability on the road is very important when you're out here more than 3 days a week. All right. As always, to the next video. So.